She watches every single one of your stories, all of them, sometimes seconds after you post. You notice her name up there, always among the first, but she never sends a message, never comments, never reacts, never sends a "hey stranger," nothing. And that leaves you wondering, doesn't it? Because if she truly had no interest, she simply wouldn't watch. She'd scroll past, the way she ignores hundreds of other profiles every day. But she doesn't ignore yours. She watches, every time. So why the silence? Stay with me until the end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly what's going through her mind in those moments, and the real reasons why this woman watches everything you do, but never makes the first move. Some of these reasons might surprise you. One of them, especially, is something almost nobody talks about openly. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button because it really helps this video reach more people going through the exact same confusion you're feeling right now. Let's get into it. First, I need to pull you out of a mental trap that almost every man falls into, thinking that watching a story is a neutral, meaningless act. It's not. Watching a story is a voluntary act. She opened the app, she looked, or the algorithm brought it to her, and she chose to tap that colorful circle with your face on it. She stayed there for 5, 10, 15 seconds. She decided to spend a little piece of her attention on you. Is that nothing? Of course not. It's something. The problem is that something is not the same as "I'm ready to talk to you." And it's exactly in that gap between the two that most men get lost. There's a huge difference between curiosity and initiative. Curiosity is cheap. It costs one tap on the screen. Initiative costs exposure. It costs vulnerability. It costs the risk of being ignored, of looking too eager, of sending a message and getting nothing back. And here's the first point I want you to remember. Women in general are socially trained to wait, not to chase. Not because they don't want to, but because from a young age, many learn that their value drops the moment they seem to want it too much. That's cultural, it's historical, and whether you agree with it or not, it still shapes the behavior of a lot of women today. So when she watches your story and sends nothing, it's often not indifference. It's a form of strategic observation. She's collecting data on you. She wants to know who you are, what you've been up to, who you're spending time with, whether you're single, whether you're doing well, whether that something that once existed between you two is still there. She's studying you, just quietly. If that idea already makes sense to you, drop a like. It tells me this content is hitting the right spot, and it helps me bring you more videos like this one. Now here's the part you actually came for. I'll give you 7 possible reasons, and more than one might be happening at the same time. 1. Fear of rejection, even if she'd never admit it. Sounds contradictory, I know. She's afraid of me rejecting her? Yes, and it's more common than you think. Women who have been burned before, who've messaged someone first and got left on read, often build a kind of emotional armor. They'd rather watch from a distance than expose themselves and risk even a small rejection. For a lot of women, the emotional risk of sending, "Hey, how are you?" and getting nothing back feels worse than simply not knowing. 2. She's waiting for a clear sign that you're interested too. Most women pay close attention to microsignals. A comment on an old photo, a like that stands out from the usual pattern, a reply to one of her stories. If you've never given her anything back, she might be reading your silence as a mirror of her own. In other words, sometimes she doesn't message you because she's waiting for you to message first, and this silent game turns into a standoff where both of you are waiting for the other to make the first move. 3. She's testing whether you notice. This might sound manipulative, but it usually isn't. It's more instinctive than calculated most of the time. She wants to see if you notice her presence. If you'll say something like, "Hey, I noticed you always watch my stories," she wants to see if you have the initiative that she doesn't have the courage for. This actually connects to something rooted in behavior. Historically, women have read male initiative and interest as signs of security and the ability to protect. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, just that it exists, and it still shapes behavior today. 4. She's holding on to some unresolved hurt or pride. If you two have had any kind of connection before, a conversation that faded, a relationship that ended, a almost that never went anywhere, she might still be carrying some hurt. And, at the same time, curiosity. She wants to know how you're doing. But her pride won't let her make the first move, because in her mind, that would mean giving up her position. 5. She's unsure of what she actually feels. Not every silence is about you. Sometimes it's about her. She might be processing confusing feelings, still not sure whether she wants to get closer or pull away. Watching your story is a safe way to stay connected without having to make a real decision. 6. She enjoys watching you without any commitment attached. Sometimes, yes, it really is that simple. She likes knowing what you're up to, likes keeping that thin thread of connection alive, but right now isn't ready to turn it into something more. That doesn't mean she thinks nothing of you. It means that, for her, that's enough for the moment. 7. She's waiting for the right moment, one that might never arrive on its own. This, to me, is the most common reason of all. She's not waiting for a perfect opportunity. She's waiting for courage, hers or yours. And without either of you moving, the two of you can stay locked in this cycle of silent observation for years, never actually getting closer. If you've ever lived this, watching someone watch you, with neither of you ever making a move, comment below, "I've lived this," because I want to see how many people are going through the same thing. Before I show you what to actually do with this information, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it now. I post content here every week about behavior, attraction, and relationships, things most people never explain to you in a straightforward way. And hit that like button. Seriously, it really matters for the algorithm to understand this video is worth showing to more people. Now, important. I need to clear up a few myths that might be running through your head right now. Her watching your stories and never messaging does not necessarily mean she's playing games with you. A lot of people either over-romanticize or over-demonize this behavior. The truth is almost always somewhere in the middle. Human behavior is complex, layered with insecurities and contexts we don't always see from the outside. It also doesn't mean she's waiting for you to play the hero and fix everything on your own. A healthy relationship isn't about one person chasing and the other running. It's about two adults who, at some point, choose to stop playing the observation game and actually connect. And, most importantly, this doesn't mean you have to message her just because she watches your story. Maybe you're not interested anymore. Maybe this person isn't right for you. And that's completely fine. The point of this video isn't to convince you to chase anyone. It's to help you understand the behavior, so you can decide with clarity what to do with this information. All right, now let's get to what matters. What to do. If you're interested in her, stop waiting for a perfect sign that might never come. The anxiety of, "she'll notice that I noticed," keeps both of you trapped in an endless loop. If you want to move forward, the simplest and most honest move is to comment on something genuine in one of her stories, or send a light, no-pressure message about something real you actually saw there. It doesn't need to be elaborate. It just needs to be real, and it needs to come from you. If you're not sure you're still interested, that's okay too. You don't owe anyone anything. Watching her watch you can just be your own curiosity as well, and being honest about that with yourself is healthier than pretending indifference. If this is making you anxious or keeping you up at night, here's a truth nobody may have told you. You don't have to figure everything out. Sometimes people do contradictory things because they're human, full of doubts, fears, and stories we can't see from the outside. You can choose to ask directly, or you can choose to move on. Both are valid. What's not healthy is spending years analyzing the behavior of someone who's never given you any real clarity. And if, at some point, you notice you're spending more energy analyzing this person than living your own life, that's a sign to take a step back, with kindness toward yourself. I wanted to close by telling you something. This behavior we talked about today isn't rare. Actually, it's one of the most common patterns in how people connect today, especially in an era where social media created this space of almost connection, where you can follow someone's life without ever really getting close. Right now, thousands of people are watching someone's story who is also watching theirs, and neither one sends a message. A silent cycle, repeated every day, everywhere. And maybe the real lesson of this video isn't about her, it's about you. About the courage, or the lack of it, to turn observation into real connection. Because at the end of the day, nobody ever truly got close to someone just by watching from a distance. If this video made sense to you, if you recognized yourself in any of these situations, drop a like right now. It genuinely helps this content reach more people who need to hear this. And subscribe to the channel because every week I bring you videos like this one, breaking down human behavior in relationships, honestly and without sugarcoating it. Comment below, Have you lived this situation? Were you the one watching or the one being watched? I really want to read your stories. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.